Good afternoon, members. It's 2 or 3 p.m., and I call this special committee to order. It looks like pursuant to the rules of procedure, the agenda has been passed out to everyone in advance, so everyone should have a copy. And before we move on, I'd like to recognize the members of the committee. To my left is Vice Chair Representative Edwin Probst. To his left, we have Representative BJ Attal, and to his left, we have Representative Marissa Flores, and to her left, and across the aisle, we have Representative John Paul Sablan, and to his left, we have Representative Vicente Camacho, and to his left, we have both councils here, Council John Bradley and Council Joe Tyrone, along with our legislative assistant, Miss Claire, and Cameron, along with our IT guys, John Diaz. And with that, I'll now recognize the vice chair for the adoption of the.
Thank you, Chairman. At this point, I'd like to move to for the adoption of today's agenda. So moved.
There has been adoption made by the vice chair, has been seconded. Discussion. Ready? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. Now we move on to public comment. Is there anyone in the public that will make comment with regards to today's agenda? Being there's none, members, if we can move on to item C and D under supporting records and the 1309 letters. Just for the history, the committee did send out the 1309 letters to the zoning, business license, the Department of Finance, Bank of Saipan, and Department of Commerce. Um, the request for documents is for 10 days, so that would um, be updated, I believe, this Thursday. But Department of Commerce did submit already a list of the required documents that we requested. The Bank of Saipan requested, and everyone should have a copy, that their legal counsel is Matt Gregory is currently off island, and that he will return November 3. So they're asking for consideration for extension. So you guys should have that letter with you. Um, the committee chair has no objection granting that extension so that their legal counsel can review the documents that we have requested. I believe during my absence, the vice chair has received communication from the Department of Finance, and I'll recognize vice chair now for the update of that discussion.
Thank you, Chairman and colleagues and the viewing audience. Good afternoon. I was in communication with the Secretary of Finance, their Assistant Attorney General Dustin Rollins, and we did have some discussion as to what we were looking for. Those documents will be coming forth as we are going to be expecting it through the notice of awards that went out to every single or every single boost recipient was required to sign. In our conversation, uh, we believe that, and according to Mr. Rollins, just about all of them had submitted updates as to their spending for the awards, and I think there was about 30 some businesses that did not respond at all. So we will be requesting such documents to review it for this special committee for this body. And again, that is forthcoming. There are some other documents that we are looking at obtaining, and those letters will be coming out this week, Chairman and colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. And so members, the documents that was sent to the committee was passed out to every members. Is there any comments, concern that needs to be addressed? I recognize Rep. Flores.
Thank you, Chair. So I'm looking at the correspondence or the reply from the Secretary, Acting Secretary of Commerce, and yours shows the appendix, under Appendix A, the list of individuals. However, behind that, if you look at the last page, there's some highlighted portions and stuff here, and it doesn't have any explanation in his reply. So I guess the next time you speak with him, can he just expand and, let us know why that is, and that way there's no confusion later. Thank you. I yield.
Thank you, Rep. Flores. Yes, we just received the information today. I believe there was a disc that came along with this. We didn't have a disc a reader, so I believe our IT's guy would basically open that up and see what it is. Because yes, you're right. We can't. I don't understand what are the highlight ones, and until we open the file. We may call in the acting secretary of commerce to guide us in the next couple of days. But is there any other issues, comments, or concern with regards to the Bank of Saipan? The request was submitted. It was all received from the zoning board or the office. Business license as well. We have not received. So their 10 days would expire this Thursday, I believe. So I'm just opening up the discussion that what we received so far. 10 business days. And before that, I'll recognize the Representative Attal.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And also, in regards to requiring documents to be provided to this committee, and in lieu of the list of recipients that the Bank of Saipan had provided us, I think we also need to make sure that we get all the information from revenue and tax and their their reporting regarding their GRTs, because a lot of these businesses, some of which just opened during this period and some of which were existing businesses, those are external incomes that actually came into the business and is not part of their collections. So their filings should serve something different with the revenue tax, and that would actually assist our general collections as well.
Regards to taxpayer, so we would get a clearer picture with regards to what can we look at, and um, uh, at this point the chair believes that anyone with individual that receives funds from like federal or grant money, if that's what they call it, they have to open the books. We understand that any contracts, whether it's federal contracts or grants, one of the requirements is that the books need to be open to anyone to look at for at least 5 years. So we need to get that clarification from the AAG, from Revenue and Tax, as to what is allowed and not allowed, and then we can go from there. But that's all I have right now. Go
But
ahead.
Mr. Chairman, with that being said, though, there's some of these businesses that actually received the funds from this program have actually closed doors already. So I'm just wondering, and for those that were fly-by-night businesses that received funds and closed doors, are evading tax. Invading their tax payments to the central government. So if the list doesn't match what to look into that as well to match that did not file, we should definitely go after these businesses.
Thank you, Rep.
Mr. Chairman.
That's all. Any further? I'll do note that that's one request from the AAG, from the Revenue and Tax. Yes, you're right. Companies that receive these funds, if they don't utilize it, obviously becomes a miscellaneous income for them, and that should be reported whether it's by individual or the corporation they open. So that's something that needs to be looked at, and that's part of the request we asked the Bank of Saipan is to give us the checks and where was it deposited, so we can at least have a trail of what was the funds or what accounts did those checks went into. So that's one of the requests we asked the Bank of Saipan, and hopefully we'll be getting that in the near future. Let me recognize Rep. Sablan and then Vice Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know that you have mentioned that you did send out a 1309 letter to the Office of the Zoning. Uh, my apologies, I haven't seen that 1309 letter, so I'm just trying to clarify. We're requesting permit, zoning permits from these offices, those that are on,
Yes,
perhaps on the
it's-
list that we're trying to clarify that did they acquire, because it requires that you get a zoning permit before you get that business license. So is that the?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. Thank you for the
Um,
clarification.
And just for the record, the zoning office did receive our request. However, they have not responded. And like the chair mentioned, the expiration date would be this Thursday. And I'll recognize the vice chair.
Thank you, Chairman and colleagues, and excellent points brought up and duly noted. We will ensure that these concerns that you have brought up are included as we move forward. I did want to go ahead and remind not just ourselves, but also those listening in and those who actually received the actual boost recipients, that when they signed this notice of award, they had, terms and conditions that they signed onto and that they guaranteed. And if you look at and you break it down, the in these things, number 6, it says here, you agree to return the full amount of the award upon demand if you violate any of the conditions stated above. And those conditions that were set forth were that you had to spend it on your business, and there were certain other terms and conditions associated with this. And these records have to be kept for 5 years. We also have recognized that the Department of Finance can authorize any entity, including this body, but we also have the power of subpoena. So we are certainly not going to take anything lightly. We are going to get the documents that we require, and those 30-some companies that never submitted anything to the Department of Finance, I hope they are watching and listening in, that we will be coming after you if you did not turn in those documents that were requested by the Department of Finance. Come hell or high water, we will find it and we will get it. Thank you.
Thank you, Rep. Or Vice Chair Probst. Chair recognizes Rep. Flores.
Thank you, Chair. And I think in light of the discussion right now, and looking at this list, I think it's also important that when we do receive these documents and moving forward, I believe that even when they were given out these boost checks, you had people attest to receive these checks. It was not printed. It wasn't legible. It was a signature. But what's most important is that a lot of these corporations must have a resident agent. So in light of that, I think if we can't even find any of these people at this point, the resident agent, we should bring that resident agent in to at least account for and what their business is, because if at any case, somebody needs to be held responsible. I yield. Thank you.
Thank you, Rep. Flores. Any further? None? Okay, moving along. We're now under new business, and the chair recognizes the vice chair. Oh, sorry, I apologize. It's Representative Vicente Camacho.
Thank you, Chair. And Chair, I would like to move to authorize the chairman of the House Special Committee on Federal Assistance and Disaster-Related Fundings to issue subpoenas to Tecum and subpoenas at testificandum at a date and time set forth by the chairman of the special committee with respect to the individuals listed in item 5, new business, to wit, David De Leon Guerrero Atalic, Jesus Taisagui, Robert Travilla, Salina Sapp, Shane Villanueva, William M. Castro, and Ralph De Leon Guerrero Torres. Thank you.
There has been a motion made by Representative Camacho, has been seconded. Discussion. Ready? Claire, please call the roll.
Representative John Paul P. Sablon,
Yes.
Representative Marissa R. Flores,
Yes.
Representative Vicente C. Camacho,
Yes.
Representative Diego Vincent F. Camacho, Representative Angelo A. Camacho, Representative Blas Jonathan T. Attal,
Yes.
Representative Vicente S. Audon, Representative Edwin K. Probst,
Yes.
Representative Ralph N. Newmo.
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Claire.
Chairman,
Uh,
all 6 members present voted in the
Yes, and I
affirmative.
apologize, Representative O'Don, Representative Angelo Camacho, and Representative Diego Camacho is hereby excused. I apologize for that. So that covers today's agenda. The subpoenas authorized by the committee will be issued at a later date. With that, I move down to miscellaneous if there's no further comments. Ready? Yes, we are under miscellaneous now. Go ahead, Rep. Flores.
Thank you, Chair. The list today includes government officials and those who are responsible with the marketing of Boost program. It's a start for us, but it's a great start. I frankly, I'm aware that there are some people that can agree with me and say that this inquiry and this process is long overdue. But I want to assure the viewing public that each and every one of us will not rest until we look into how every penny of the Boost funds have been spent. So on this note, Chairman, I respectfully suggest and ask that at our next meeting, we focus on the Boost recipients and those businesses and their owners that receive Boost funds. Furthermore, I've had conversations with a few awardees who were boosted that did not use the funds for its intended purpose. And knowing that is even more reason for us to proceed, ensure that we also conduct our due diligence for the people of the Commonwealth, for Big Brother in the United States, who has given us all of these federal funds to ensure that we could survive during that pandemic, and we did. We are still suffering, but we need to make sure that all the money that was not spent accordingly in which it was provided to us is collected. And that nobody is above the law, period. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield.
Thank you, Representative Flores, and duly noted. We would discuss that at our next hearing. Any further under miscellaneous? I recognize the Vice Chair.
I am going to reiterate this, and I do want to remind them that if there's any takeaways today, one of the things I want is those companies or those businesses that those boost recipients that chose to submit nothing to the Department of Finance. I want you to think twice about that and respond accordingly to their request. It is not unreasonable. It is listed and they signed off on it. And there's no wiggle room on that. So I do hope they do the right thing. We look forward to seeing how this money was spent and if it was invested as they were supposed to on their business. Thank you, Chairman and colleagues.
Thank you, Representative Probst. Any further? Being there's none, I'll now recognize the vice chair to motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move to adjourn today's meeting, subject to the call of the chairman.
Thank you, Rep. Probst, and it has been motioned to adjourn, and it was seconded. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. We are officially adjourned. Thank you.